This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop for you, the pit crew. You are the real star of today's show. Thank you for being here. I have missed you guys and girls, you people, you sim racing fans. It's been a long week away from the show, and what do you know? I come back and I have a cold. So forgive me if I cough, sneeze, snot, whatever it may be today's show. I do have a little bit of a head cloud. My brain is numb. And if it hadn't been for being away for an entire week, I probably would have called off the show today just due to those factors. But having missed you guys, having missed sim racing for a week, the show must go on. You're here, I'm here, let's get it going. So I hope you had a good week. I hope, for me, it's tough being away. I've become very accustomed to hanging out with you guys each and every day. Well, 3 days of the week in the mornings, and just talking sim racing, hanging out. And it's really weird not doing that, not being part of the community like I'm so accustomed, just, you know, intertwined into it. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Our comeback day, Monday. We are now into April. I missed all the April Fool's madness, so I did see like the SimUCube double belt idea that they kind of spoofed out there for a April Fool's Day joke. I have seen some things out there, but I did miss the shenanigans. Maybe Friday we'll talk more about what I did. I was at a trade show. I was working at a trade show. I was working with VRX simulators out of Victoria, Vancouver, Canada, and had a really good time in Vegas. It was a great trip. So, but let's get to sim racing. There was a lot that went on. So before I even get to the topics, I'm sure there are things that you guys know about, talk about. It's been in the news all week, and I'm coming in late and trying to catch up on so many different things that are going on. So I will be confessing to you right off the bat that I don't have all of the information perfect today, but hopefully we'll cover everything and we'll get to touch upon what's been going on. It's been a very big week in sim racing. So let's bring down our thumbnail and look here. So Granite Devices, the guys behind SimUCube, it's on their Facebook page, it's on their Twitter page. You've got this new video here of SimUCube, and they're saying they're going to change sim racing forever. I've got this very loud, don't I? But basically what we're seeing from SimUCube is Wave 2, Round 2, Version 2 of their very popular version or take on the OSW Open Sim Wheel project, and they are becoming more and more mainstream, and they're going out of their way to add features that we haven't seen in previous versions. So here's a good look at the new base. I do have a different site that has some cool pictures as well, but new features. You're talking faster reading. They're talking about getting it so that it's faster communication between the wheel and the simulation itself. Wireless wheel options. Don't have more on that at this point in time. And also monster torque rating. So here's the new lineup of wheels. 17 Newton meters being like their little boy. 25 Newton meters being the medium, and 32 Newton meters of torque on the ultimate model. They are taking pre-orders now on the 3 different variations. You're looking at 1270 euro, 1450, 1270 or 1450 USD. And that is for the base model, I believe here. I got so many stories here. There's a good look at the back. Still trying to figure out exactly how this is all going to work. It will work with a standard quick release, that's for sure. It's also going to work with their wheel rims, I'm assuming, that are going to have this wireless connection. I didn't get to read every last word because I did have so many stories to talk about today, but this is really good news. These guys, they're out of Finland, the Finnish esport and professional simulation racing hardware manufacturer, as they put it. Granite Devices has announced the new SimUCube to direct drive racing wheelbase. Anyway, I like that they've cleaned it up. That motor is cleaner than previous versions, and I do like that. What else? What else to talk about? Sparco. You guys know Sparco. They're the guys, I mean, I wear a Sparco driving suit for real life racing. Sparco, longtime supplier, manufacturer in the world of automotive racing. They got into the rig market, and they did it semi-quietly, I will say. They rolled it out. We heard about it, but you know, like I haven't had one for review here, for example. But I guess they are now into version 2 of the Sparco rig, and I have a cool video here actually on this one. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, this is the new Sparco. They're calling it the SimRig 1 and the SimRig 2. SimRig 1 is going to be just a standard, and then the SimRig 2 comes fully loaded. You're talking about the Samsung Curve 4K TV, Sparco monitor stand, keyboard, dedicated computer with Assetto Corsa Ultimate Edition. I do have some images of their new rig as well. A good looking rig. I'm talking to these guys about getting one of these on the show for review. There's the one with the computer and the Assetto Corsa pre-installed onto it, the Samsung Curve monitor. Oh, there's the Aqua Volva. How did that get in there? I don't know how that got there. But yeah, some new stuff coming from the guys at Sparco, which is cool just to see another that top level company getting into, well, they're already here, but you know, when we're seeing the explosion of esport, we're seeing Formula 1 coming into esport, we're seeing NASCAR coming into esport. When I say esport, coming into sim racing and coming in with big money, big contracts, big licensing deals. We're also seeing it from the manufacturing side. You're seeing it from Sparco, and I think there have been a handful of other companies who have dabbled, but I think we're going to see a whole bunch more of this in the future as well, as sim racing's popularity absolutely is getting more mainstream, that's for sure. Hydraulic pedal set to come and wheels from Asher Racing. Those are the guys who've made like the adapters, like the Fanatec adapter, I believe, and things like that. All right, what else? What else? Excuse me. We talked about all the various esport things going on. You know, it was only a few months ago that we even speculated, hey, iRacing, are they going to be forgotten in the world of esport? I mean, I really did think that for a period of time, as all of the big contracts were going to things more like the Codemasters type titles, NASCAR Heat type titles, things like that. It's great to see this, but the Porsche Esport Super Cup becomes the first global virtual one-make cup. So they're expanding its one-make motorsport series to include a virtual world championship, the Porsche Esport Super Cup. Another $100,000 on the line, kicks off April 13th. Top 40 have qualified their way in and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, great news there in iRacing. More stuff we'll be able to keep up on. And we've been watching or following World of Outlaws esport in the world of iRacing. And this is going to be the best dirt racers in all of sim racing. I mean, when you talk about Formula 1, you could argue this sim, that sim. When you talk about GT cars, you could argue this sim, that sim. When it comes to dirt oval, I'm not sure there is any qualified competition to really say that these guys are not the best. These are the best dirt oval racers on earth. We saw some of the video from last week or 2 weeks ago at this point, and it was really exciting racing to watch. Me and Billy and Brandon talked about it on Beyond the Sim last 2 Fridays ago at this point. Sorry, brain mush. But anyway, World of Outlaws, James Eden scores the victory at Knoxville as that esport competition. This is the real deal. This is the big boys. And let's see, James Eden led a fleet of 3 Swindell Speed Lab esport drivers in the top 10 as that continues on. You know, Max Verstappen, this guy is amazing. Max Verstappen, he does it. The title here, this is pretty funny. Well, the subtitle, I guess we should call it. Unlike Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen doesn't have the time to compete in the real WEC, but competed in the virtual version instead. I don't know if you remember this, but this was the big 8 hours of Silverstone, and it was him and Rudy Van Buren, funny enough, that actually teamed up and won the event. So this guy, Max Verstappen, love him, hate him. You got to respect him. The kid can drive. You can't even call him a kid now. The guy can drive, and he can straight up rock in sim racing as well. Congratulations to him. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Rudy Van Buren's birthday just the other day? Happy birthday, Randy Van Buren, if you watch, or if anybody out there knows him. Competizione, we're still waiting. It's about to be for real. It's about to be everything. I don't know. Assetto Corsa Competizione Early Access Update 7 is surprisingly out. That's their own wording, by the way, the word surprising. I guess and no one really expected it, but here it is. This came out while I was away. I guess it's really time to get deep and certainly time to get ready for Assetto Corsa Competizione, because we are on the brink of that. Who would hate Max? I don't know. I've heard some nicknames that would indicate a handful of people in the world certainly aren't fans of Max. But you got to respect the kid. You got to respect the guy. Let's see here. What else? 7.1. So there's even an update to the update. Thank you, Theodore. He is an awful blocker in real life, and people have figured him out. Yep. Well, see, you know, that's the beauty of racing. We all have our fans, and if you're a fan of a driver, then the guys that they fight amongst are their rivals and who we have to root against or find their flaws. I do it with football. I do it with baseball, soccer, you name it. That's part of being a fan. This was our screenshot of the day, though, was just the news on the Hotfix. And yeah, actually here it says SimRacers Hotfix 7.1 is available now. So this was actually on the 4th, 4 days ago. See, I am catching up on things. Anything else I might have missed out of Assetto Corsa? Also, while I was away, or at the end of March, was the roadmap update for RFactor 2. I love this. I say it every time they do it, but it's because I really do. They just kind of keep telling you what's going on. Talk about what's going on with the cars. Gen 2 Formula E car just wrapped up the development of their brand new brake-by-wire system. That could be interesting. I wonder what that's going to feel like at the pedal. Wonder if it's going to be that much significantly different. And talking about the braking torque used to regenerate the batteries. Nürburgring is going as planned. We're moving towards barriers and mapping off different pieces of graffiti on the track. Wonder what it costs to get a Simpit logo graffitied onto the track real quick. Anyway, they're working on that, working on some performance updates, competition, and new UI update. Oh, please work on that UI RFactor too. That is one of the things holding you back, I do believe. Anyway, there is everything going on. Talking about last month's Fanatec, 12 hours of Sebring, that big race, and all that kind of stuff. Verstappen, yep, you said it. Thank you, DJ. See, you guys, you fell into the trap. There you are. You're talking about this driver, that driver. You're even digging up Scott Speed's dead F1 career. All right, what else? They announced that F1 2019 was coming out earlier than ever. And then here they go and announce this. And this came out on April 2nd. Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsport, has announced the third installment. Think about it, it's already the third year. I don't know if we're going yearly, though. I think it's the third installment is better wording. Of the F1 New Balance Esports Series, and it's going to kick off April 8th, that being today, building on the success of last year. So things are up and going. Look at this. Staggering $500,000 prize fund to be won. $500,000. Brendan, how much of that $500,000 are you going to... Oh, man, that guy's a two-time champion with $500,000 on the line. So I haven't read the entire article. I wonder, are they planning on... I want to know what software. Are they running a pre-done version of 2019 for the... Or are they running... I'm sorry, I really wish I had read this beforehand. I just had so much to do. I wonder what they're doing software-wise. Are they starting off with a pre-version of 19? Are they starting off with 18 and transferring to 19? Or are they going to get this whole thing wrapped up before 19 even comes out? We'll try to get more on that. Maybe have an update on Wednesday's show with a little more information, because that is pretty big news, and we're going to definitely have to talk to Brendan about that. Maybe get him on the show if we can. This is also another thing, and talking about the F1 Esport. First online qualifying event now live, that being right now. So that's today, April 8th, 2019. I'm assuming it happened Euro time, so it's probably already wrapped up. But you could have been in it if you haven't signed up to participate. You can do that here. So if you want to, perhaps there's still an entry into it. It seems like we're a little late on the game, though, at this point. Whoa, I'm scrolling too many things. Hold on, bear with me, guys. Excuse me. Damn it. There we go. All right, Dirt Rally 2.0. Money, 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 money. I agree, man. That's a lot of money on the line. $500,000. I don't know the whole payout, but I would imagine that has got to be a pretty good chunk of change. I mean, are we talking like, what, 125 maybe? If I'm just doing a quick bracket in my head, $500,000 on the line. I don't know, 100, 125 goes to the winner. That's talk about being a pro. Talk about being a pro. If that's the kind of payouts we're talking about, I mean, 3rd, 4th, 5th place might be enough to call it a career compared to some people's jobs. I mean, if you had your choice of being a 5th place driver, let's say you earned $45,000, $50,000 as the 5th place driver versus some guy working a regular job earning that kind of money, I will absolutely take sim racing. If I had that kind of talent, I'd be there. And that's why those who can't do the pit stop. Anyway, Dirt Rally 2. Season 1, Stage 2 is on the horizon. The BMW M1 Pro Car Rally. Funny how many of these car names are not what I think of when it comes to rally racing. And the Opel Manta 400 arrived tomorrow. That being posted 3 hours ago, so tomorrow really being tomorrow in this case. And Sweden Rally follows up in a fortnight's time. What does fortnight mean? Anybody out there? Anybody out there know their language better than I? Oh, okay. All right, here we go. We have a new opportunity today. I want to congratulate, and before I do, we have a new graphic for the show. I want to congratulate Moritz Lohner for winning the GT Masters Esport Time Attack title. Who will win the multiplayer championship? Florian Haas from Euronics Gaming leads that championship at the moment. Final race live here. Scroll up a little bit and we actually have our championship standings. But I went ahead and went to actually, if you go to Raceroom on YouTube, you'll find these competitions. So if you want to watch the race, see how it panned out. And if you don't want to know who won yet, you know, earmuffs. But it looks like it was, Oral who won. What was his first name? Here, I have it on this other graphic here. It was, oh, come on, Cole. I couldn't remember his name. It was the first time we've, come on. No, it's not on this one. Come on. I want to get his name right. Where'd it go? Was it this one? Oh, man. Come on, Cole. Forgive me, people. I'm so sorry. I hate when that happens. There we go. Simon Omel. Simon Omel went on to win the event. There we go. Finally got it right. And hopefully I didn't butcher their names too terribly. What else do we have? Final showdown of the ADAC GT Masters Esport Championship at Hockenheim was live now. That was 22 hours ago. And in that one, it was Benzi Bonke. We got to do this again. I know I say his name incorrectly. Jack Keatley, our good buddy, finishing in second. And so lots going on. I mean, look at how many cool esports stories we have. These are the pro ranks. If this was like, you know, back when I was a kid, we didn't really have that much entertainment on television. And then came ESPN. And then came things like Speed Channel. And, you know, you sit there waiting for the news on your favorite sport, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, whatever it's going to be, soccer, cycling. And in our case, it's sim racing. And now we are to the point where we have the pro ranks. And whether you're a fan or not, it's just great to see it. So that's why I do mention it. It is huge. It's going on, and that's the other thing to notice and keep in mind. Every single sim at this point has money on the line. I mean, 20 years ago, it was more than 20 years ago, when I first started sim racing, I never imagined that we would get to the point where there was this much money on the line for sim racing. It just blows my mind. All right. What else? Forza Week in Review. You can check this out for the Forza heads out there. Some new things. I know they have some big car drops that have been coming out as well. So, where was that list? We had some cars, like some retro cars. Excuse me, little hiccups. I warned you guys. Specialty dealer, BMW, Audi, Castrol Honda Civic, Castrol Jaguar Racing, XJR9. 1988 Jaguar XJR9. Was that the first $1 million car? Am I thinking the right car? The XJR9. I think that was the first production car with a price tag of $1 million. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Look at that beater. Is that a V-dub? Looks smaller. That's like a VW, isn't it? Aw. A little rusty. What do you think of that, Doug? You like the rusty ones, Doug, if you're here. GT Sport also had an update. Their update had some new cars. They had some main physics, simulation model changes, gear shift kind of stuff. Various other issues have been addressed. And they had this cool video here that was showing off. This is the PS4 update, and start enjoying 5 new cars, including this badass looking Formula car as well. The 250 GT, Lamborghini Countach, Lancia Stratos, Dallara SF19. Yeah, look at that. I want to drive that Dallara. Alright, so that's cool. Gran Turismo getting some updates as well. What else? Simbin out in the move. And there's one reason I'm covering this. They're in London for the London Games Festival. And this is the quote that I loved here, looking at this on their Facebook page. This is Simbin. This is GTR 3. In the works for those of you who haven't figured it out. But, oh, it was the XJ220, Billy Strange. Thank you, Chili. Yes, yes. Thank you both. You are right, not the XJ9. It was the XJ220. And it was the first $1 million car, though, right? Wasn't that the first $1 million price tag? And then they did a special racing series with it. It was a very interesting time in cars and racing. Anyway, getting back to Simbin Studios UK and GTR 3 in development. So this is really cool. Their post here, which was on the 2nd, but quoted here and I highlighted in blue. We hear you loud and clear in terms of sharing content, and as soon as we can, we will. So apparently, they've been getting a little bit of flack, a little bit of community outreach, a little bit of community input saying, hey, we know you're working on it. How about sharing a detail or two? I mean, cool. We've seen a car. How about more? So we're going to have to keep our eyes on Simbin and the development of GTR 3, for sure. On the 6th, Live for Speed had another test patch for the VR fix and easier to set up local network races. So not a huge update, nothing that big, but we are seeing more and more frequency out of them. That's great. NASCAR Heat had their round at Eldora in both the Xbox and the PS4, and Cursed Lobster, poor guy, Cursed Lobster 40 goes on to win, and that was week 2, and AJT 17. You know, tell you what, I might butcher the names of, our stars, but at least they're getting credit for their names. So when I'm saying Simon Omo went on to win, I might have butchered the name, but everybody knows who I'm talking about, all right? Now, when I get over here, this is something I'm not going to get over, and this is one of the reasons that I always thought sim racing was superior. Yep, that's right. I said it. Superior to other esports shooter games and Street Fighter. Bah! We are the real deal. We are real sport. Use your real names, boys. AJT17, congratulations. And Charlie Super Dose. He's in the PS3. What else? What else? Got so much to talk about today. I'm trying to get through it awfully quick. What else? Fanatec, you know, not to be outdone on the news. Fanatec has SimRacing Girl doing a video showing off. Let me mute this. Showing off the new podium. You know, end of the month. We are into April. We are going to start seeing these arriving here, there, and everywhere. Hopefully here very quickly. Can't wait to test out that new podium base. I cannot wait. And there is Lady SRG giving a demonstration on the 3 different models, their quick release system and everything and all the details. I don't think there's any new information. It's just sort of a last minute tease. As you know, it is time. People are going to start getting them, and we're going to start hearing from people. Shaun the Butcher Cole, so fair. That is so fair, Joa. That's a nickname that I can totally embrace, or I've certainly earned. What else? What else to talk about? This PC might be infected. Oh, dear Lord. All right, well, whoever's news that was doesn't get reported. Crew 2, do we care? Do you guys care? Crew 2. I would have played it by now if I cared. You know, one of these days, I don't know, how many of you guys have Crew 2? Could we ever do Crew 2 for a Monday fun day? I don't know. But anyway, this month, the Cayman GT4 2016 model and the Suzuki GSX-R 1000R. You know, for a period of time, the Cayman GT4 was one of the most sought-after Porsches. I'm not sure if that's still true today, with them having come out a little while ago now. But for a period of time, that car was more sought-after than a 911, whichever variation you could be talking about. It was very hard to get, and I don't know, in my opinion, as much as I'm a Porsche guy, I feel like they've always gone out of their way to make sure that no car they make can be superior to the 911. I mean, obviously, you get into their hybrid, you get into the 918, but those are like race cars built for the street, I think just to make homogenization. Isn't that the whole purpose of like building a handful, just to get them into like 24-hour level racing? But the GT4 is a monster of a car, and it is now in the Crew 2. This, I wouldn't normally cover this, but I was just looking at this image, and I was just, oh, George, Lionheart Racing Series, I missed you guys. I thought about it. Wednesday came around, and it was about race time that I was 3 sheets to the wind and losing money that I thought, oh, man, they're racing right now, and I'm losing. Izzy saw a picture of me with hair and was amazed. I did once have hair. I was not born this way. ISM this week, Wednesday night, tune in. I will be streaming Lionheart Racing at ISM. I have a lot of work to do, get prepared against that gang of racers. But anyway, getting back to my photo, my thinking, I was looking at this, and as much as I'm a sim racing purist, I do have to confess that I have a lot of fun driving Wreckfest. I have to confess, and this is kind of sick, but I love driving Grand Theft Auto and running over curbs and killing people. I'm looking for the best ass-kicking game. Like, Wreckfest is awesome, but where's one that's even more brutal with explosions and, I don't know, weaponry perhaps? What's the best Mad Max road rage type game that we can play as a driver? Because I want to know, because I'm going to go get it. And then we'll see maybe if we stream something on it. I had hair when I was born. I did. I had hair until I was 35. 35. All right, what else? Just catching up. Formula US 2000 series coming up, Amir. Yes, I heard about that one. Okay. It must be actively trying to kill you, or it's not a real Porsche. Exactly. If they don't go ass into the wall, it's not a Porsche. I love driving on the road and killing people. Twisted Metal. Yes, Amir. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I want something like that. David loves Wreckfest more than iRacing. I think a lot of us at times feel that way. I am a sociopath. Indeed, indeed. Overdrive. Is that one current? Car Heroes. Is that a current title? Overdrive? I think I've heard of that. I gotta get me something like that just to get some rage out, you know? Alright, what else? What else? Oh, anyway, this story here was Motor Wars offers triple rewards in Grand Theft Auto Online. The weekly GTA Online update has arrived for Grand Theft Auto 5, which means I can actually go do this. I do own Grand Theft Auto 5. Excuse me. Sorry. Carmageddon. There you go. Yes, that was one. I'm looking for something more modern, but yes. Burnout. Yes, Burnout. I haven't played Burnout, and I guess the crew is, but do you get weaponry and explosions? That's what I'm looking for. Like, look at this image here. See all that fire in the background? That's carnage. I want some carnage. That's what the game should be called, Carnage. All right, Wreckfest. Speaking of Wreckfest, more variety in the AI vehicles plus screenshots. So this is such great news, and I didn't get a chance to read it all because it's on Google Translate, so it's kind of a funky read, but just more news of things that are going on, designs of the AI players, regardless of the performance class and whether it is a classic race or demolition derby. The longer you play, the more the feeling of dealing with generic opponents arises. Okay, I'm sure. Time and anyway, but they're going on to say that this is stuff that they're working on for the future, and that could be very cool. I love that they're continuing to develop that game as well. Burnout Paradise Remaster. Wreckfest is the ultimate sim. If you guys have not played Wreckfest, I highly recommend it. Forza Motorsport 7, McLaren Senna, and activation of exclusive cars with the April update. This is what I was remembering. Unlocked formerly exclusive vehicles, and this giant list of cars. Big changelog. So what we did talk about in that Forza Weekly and that little story, it's a lot more extensive than that. So Forza did get a pretty substantial update. Look at that, the 1993 Jaguar XJ220 Forza Edition. Boom, there it is. And last week I did miss the race at Lionheart. I sure did. I wasn't there, but in my absence, Scott Johnson goes on to win. Yeah, because that's how it would have played out. But yeah, Scott Johnson goes on to win at Kentucky. And good job by him, and I missed that race, but I will make the next one. And the last thing I really have to talk about today is what's going on tonight. Tonight, Devin Booth with the Simpit crew, and Devin Booth fans, Logically Racing fans will be there running in the Mazda series, and tonight they're at Laguna. So if you ever want a good time, one of my favorite combinations, all sim racing, and you know, maybe it's a little long in the tooth or a little tired because it's so used. It's not a secret, but you know what? Mazda's at Laguna is just great fun. So you can join him. It'll be streamed here. That's later in the evening, usually after dinner time, West Coast. So support his channel, support our channel. Check that out and maybe get out there and race with those guys. It'll be good fun. And that is going to do it for this one. Like I said, thank you for being here. Sorry I was away for an entire week, and even more sorry for the fact that it was on short notice. I mean, I usually do have better advanced notice of when I'm leaving town. This one kind of sprung up on me out of nowhere, and maybe we'll talk about it later, but it's certainly not sim racing news. Well, I was working with VRX. I actually, you know what? Let's take a quick detour before we end this show. So this week, I was in Las Vegas, and I was in Las Vegas working with VRX Simulations. They were working with the movie industry, and I just want you guys to, we talk about esport, we talk about the changing world and things that we adjust many things in our lives to. But if you're my age, if you're, think back in time, Movies was a big deal. Friday night, you went to the movies with your friends. This was like a every weekend occurrence. And movie theaters were packed with lines that went around the building. There's an Edwards 14 Cinemas by me that the parking lot is just empty all the time. Billy Strange, thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to come right back to that topic as soon as I finish this. But the changing of the times, if you have a movie theater and it's not open, you're losing to family entertainment centers. You're losing to karting facilities with bowling alleys and bars and restaurants and coin-operated games and all these things put into one. You're losing to Top Golf and places where I can go out with my family and we'll eat and drink and play our thing. If you are a cinema, you are just kind of in the dark ages now. I hate to say it, and I love movies, but the reality is they are looking for options on how are they going to keep doing what they do. And it's going to be by turning a movie theater, the traditional movie theater, the Cinema 14 that you see today. It is time for those guys to make it a Cinema 10 and take those extra 4 cinemas or rooms and turn them into something else. A bar, a club, laser tag, bowling, sim racing. Anyway, you might see sim racing popping up in movie theaters. You might see cinemas trying to compete with indoor karting facilities and places like that. It'll be interesting to see. It's one of my favorite parts about working trade shows. Sometimes you get to see things from a perspective that you never would have thought about. So, Joa, that was just for you guys, man. I can't talk about that to the public. It was too crazy, and this is a PG show for sure. Anyway, and before I do finish today's show, that was my Vegas story, but it was really fun. I will say I was treated very well. They put me up at Caesar Palace in a mini suite. I was flown first class. I was paid very well, and thank you very much, VRX, for an incredibly fun week in Vegas. Hung out with a bunch of good people, so real fun, had a blast. Anyway, and then before we finish it, I do want to talk about Beyond the Sim. Beyond the Sin. Come back from Vegas and you change the name of the show. Beyond the Sim is available on podcast version on SoundCloud. All episodes, thanks to Billy Strange Racing, are now available, and we're going to continue to expand that, and hopefully you'll tune in for Friday, because I'm sure me and Billy and Brandon, I'm not sure if Brandon's going to make it this week, have a lot to talk about. But that's going to do it for this one. I'll be back Wednesday. Still putting the streaming schedule. Got a lot going on this weekend. We're going to be playing catch-up. Hopefully we'll get a lot of content out this week and kind of get things back rolling again here at the Simpit. But that's going to do it. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.